زنده مانی تو جاودان. جان ما پاینده باد خاک ایران ما. سنگ کوهت در و گوهر است، خاک دشتت بهتر از زر است. مهرت از دل کی برون کنم، برگو بی مهر تو چون کنم. ارزشی دارد این جان ما، پاینده باد خاک ایران ما. ای خرم بهشت من، روشن است و سرنوشت من. گر آتش بارد به پیکرم، جز مهرت در دل نپرورم. با آب و خاک و مهر تو سرشته شد گلم. اگر برون رود توهی شود دلم. مهر تو چون شد پیشم، دور از تو نیست اندیشم. در راه تو کی ارزشی دارد این جان ما، پاینده باد خاک ایران ما.
Hello, my darlings. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? How are you? Are you all right, kids? How is everyone? How are my darlings on this wonderful evening? Now, I just want to start by saying, I wasn't going to do a stream until tomorrow, which we were going to cover with Manny on the Wednesday show at Speaker's Corner Online, the issues with the protests in Iran and all of that. So some of the stuff that we're going to delve into will probably be covered there as well. But the thing is, I wanted to have this moment for myself and to be able to just sort of give my own rant and my own thoughts, because with the Manny's stuff, sometimes we have to cover lots of things in a short time, and we may not get to everything. So I may expand on some things here, or you may just simply repeat some things for tomorrow. But either way, I also want some stuff for this channel, so that's why. But big up to everyone in the chat. I can see Manny's already here. Angel, big up Samem, Samadoro, Hassan, the crazy Turk. Who else we've got? Jupiter. I thought you guys were doing your own show. I could swear you were doing a show like 10 minutes ago, or 5 minutes ago, before I started setting up the stream. So I'm amazed. You guys are like, yeah, I thought you. I mean, you could broadcast this over your show as well if you like, Jupiter. It's completely permitted. Although some of the stuff I'm running might be copyrighted, especially the music at the beginning. So you may get copyright claims for that music bit. But either way, big up Jack, big up Justice, Angel, of course, Debler. Samadoro, thank you for the tip on Saturday. Excellent call. This man is to be trusted. I shall trust your judgment once more for any protests that I'm out and about. Tell me where the heat is at, and I'll go there. Unfortunately, I didn't go out on Sunday. I was actually shattered on for Sunday from what I did on Saturday. But there were some juicy things that happened actually on Saturday, which, you know, sometimes you could say this bad, it makes the protesters look bad, but, you know, juicy nonetheless. You can't deny the juicy aspect of it. So yeah, there was some clashes, some serious clashes. Now I'm not sure how much of it I can actually show on the tubes here, because the tubes is highly censorious, although this is actually on YouTube right now, the stuff I'm gonna try to show. So it's nothing that isn't on YouTube already. Sepid, big up Sepid. Well, no, let me open by simply announcing or letting everyone know that initial music that was being played is called Iran, which is the Shah's a national anthem. That was the national anthem of the former regime of Iran, which is illegal music, effectively. Hello, Betty. Hello. So yeah, so that is being played illegally, effectively, if you like. Anyone who plays that song in Iran, certainly, it's highly illegal. So that's why people tend to play it. It's not that I am particularly a Shah supporter or I'm in any way sort of in favor of yet another dictatorship in Iran. It's just that right now, at this particular sensitive stage, it is an apt song to play, just like the way the Scots played outlawed music on outlawed pipes in Scotland during the time of William Wallace. Not that I want to draw any comparisons or anything, but there are people who are fighting for their freedoms also in this century, as well as they did for in the time of Wallace. Good evening, Irish. So I'm gonna run a little monologue myself, and then I'll throw out the StreamYard. I'll be honest, I am only interested in people who wish to discuss the Iranian situation. I'm not interested in Jewish conspiracies, Hassan. I'm not interested in any other form of politics. I'm interested or any social issues. I don't care if you have a new mole on your ass. I'm only interested in the Iranian situation current Iranian situation. If you're interested in that subject, if you want to talk about that, I'll be happy to discuss. But you know, if you're taking it to other directions, or you're going to digress to flat Earth and the moon is made out of cheese, then I'm sorry, I may have to cut you short, or I may kick you off the panel. I'm just giving fair warning to anyone who wants to come on. If you want to talk about the Iranian situation, more than happy to do so. If you have other gripes, then find another show. But as far as an introduction, I guess, is concerned, for those that are unintroduced, unless you've been living under a rock, which I'll be honest, I think I'm preaching to the choir most of the time with my audience, because you guys are all pretty clued in. But nevertheless, for those that may come across this video at some point in the future, in some century long, in a galaxy far away, a long time from now, the situation is that there was a young lady called Mahsa Amini, which actually it would help if I brought up her image. Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old young lady that unfortunately, let me see, let me just bring up a couple of images. Unfortunately, some of these images are disturbing, to say the least. So, if you are of a sensitive nature or of a sensitive disposition, I would highly recommend for you to maybe be warned. This is a trigger warning for those of you who may be triggered. So that's my fair warning on that one. So if you guys are easily triggered, then look away now. But for now, this is Mahsa Amini, a Kurdish girl who actually has a different name. I forgot her name now. Oh my God, I forgot her Kurdish name. But apparently, this is something I didn't even know myself. Kurdish people in Iran are not allowed to give themselves public Kurdish names. Her parents gave her a private name as something else, which I forgot now. But her public name was Mahsa Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old girl that was grabbed by the Iranian morality police and strong-armed and dragged into a van, or into a one of those kind of like police cars over here, police vans. But as she was entering, her head violently hit the top of the van, and apparently, or at least the rumors are that she was further beaten in the van. Anyway, after going to the police station, or wherever they take the morality police's headquarters, she then collapsed, and then she was taken to hospital. Now, a lot of people say that in this footage, in this clip, you can see blood in her ear. That is an indicator that this wasn't the official report from the Iranian establishment, the Iranian regime, is that she had a heart attack and died. But the blood in her ear indicates she was internally bleeding, and she was actually bleeding out of her ear. So obviously she had some kind of head trauma, which was actually causing her to bleed internally. Now, I'm sorry, I don't want to labor this, but you can clearly see blood in her ear and that area. So this isn't nobody who bleeds from their ear when they've had a heart attack. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't claim medical expertise, but I would say that heart attacks don't usually get you to bleed from your ear. So that's the official story, which most people call bullshit. And I call bullshit because it is bullshit. We know it's bullshit because this is how the Iranian regime governs, and this is how the Iranian regime operates. They do some messed up thing, a poor innocent person dies, and then they cover it up, and they make up conspiracy theories of anyone who counters that narrative. But then again, we've heard that in the United States, haven't we? Heard that in the West. Wasn't there something about Russia colluding with Donald Trump for about 4 years? So we are all very familiar with the concept of propaganda, and the Iranians are no less proficient in it. So this is the reason. This was the catalyst. Now, I'll be honest. The death of this young girl is the trigger. It isn't the root cause. The root cause is 44 years of Islamic oppression by the Islamic Republic of Iran, the regime, the mullahs, the Khomeinis and the Khameneis, and the Rafsanjanis and the Rouhani, or was it Rouhani? No, I forgot the new guy's name. So this was just a catalyst. This was something that triggered all of that hate, all of that anger, all of that sort of 44 years of passion, effectively, to spill out. And I have to give full credit to Samad Agha here. I was in London myself on Saturday, trying to cover a protest which was Now, for those of you who follow Speakers Corner online, if you don't, what the fuck you doing? If you've seen at least more than 2 of the Speakers Corner online videos and you are not a subscriber, we have beef. As Just Pearly would say, we have fucking beef. We're gonna have to have words. So if you're not subscribed to Speakers Corner online and you've seen more than 2 of our shows, then go ahead and just click that little button, bite that bullet. We do try to provide good content, and I'll be honest, compared to the other channels, much bigger channels, I can easily say Reverend Simon Sideways' channel, as well as even Base Welshman's, they covered nothing. They had very boring streams, and they had 700-800 people watching, whilst I was covering some really heated shit, and we had like 30-25 people watching. So it's a kick in the ass, when you know your content is good, but it's just the word hasn't got around to get out there. Now, this was where I was originally. Oh, sorry. Yeah, are you guys able to see that? Yeah, you're able to see it. Yeah, this is where I was originally. This was a protest organized loosely by some Football Lads Alliance type of thing. That's, of course, Street Mike. Big up Street Mike. Love that guy, Wendell. He was interviewing a lady in a wheelchair. This was a protest about immigration and the continuous flow of rubber dinghies into Britain with fighting age men mostly. Some people now are saying they're Albanian cartel criminal gangs now that are arriving on those same dinghies, as well as God knows how much ISIS jihadi types as well. So who knows? There's a mixed bag of probably all sorts of nastiness coming on those dinghies. So this was a protest for that, but it was I'll be honest, it was a limp-wristed event. It wasn't really particularly great, and I'm just going to play it in double time so you guys can kind of see while I commentate, really. It wasn't a big turnout. It was a kind of very, very lackluster turnout, and I didn't even get to see Base or Simon. I think by the time I arrived, they'd already either left or were on the way out, because there were nowhere to be seen on Parliament Square, and God knows where they were. I wasn't able to really get in touch. I should have texted Base, but in all honesty, I'm glad, because I think I would have covered... I think I ended up being at the place where I really wanted to be, or where I should have been. Fate guided me, and somewhat Samadaro, and fate guided me to the right place more than this. This wasn't really anything of any value. It's certainly not going to make a massive change in any way. But at least the other one, the other protest was much more fruitful. Now, I just want to make one quick, let me see if I can, okay, yeah, I mean, we've got people with Trump flags. This is the chap from Correct Not Political. I kind of said hi to him because he was one of the faces I recognized. These are some of the other ladies. One thing I will say, now, I know I'm going to be biased, okay? I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to say it because I'm probably biased, and you can call me on that. But these ladies, compared to the ladies of the Iranian protest, maybe it's my Iranian bias coming out, but there were so many better looking women at the other protest. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. Fuck it. I said it. It's out there. The women at the Iranian protest, there were some hot ones. And don't get me wrong, you had your ugly fat feminists too, but there were some really hot ones, and in a way, I'm glad that I went to that one, because there weren't many lookers here. But anyway, I noticed this, which I found, I'll be honest, I found uncomfortable. I found it very uncomfortable because it was these kids. It was like four young people. One of them is a trans, and I thought, from a distance, I was like, is that a man? Is that a man? I, in fact, even say it a couple of times, and then I walk over, and yeah, it's a young man who's, trans or something. Well, definitely trans, and he was, I don't know how to even say it. I'm gonna go with she. Okay, she's presenting as a woman. She wants to be a woman. I'm just gonna say it. She was, although we all know it's a bloke. She was presenting as a woman, and they were. She was complaining why they're calling her a man and referring to her as a man. And it was. These kids were 16 years old. These were just 16-year-old kids. And these guys are adults, and they were mobbing them. And just like, it was just impolite at the very least. Look, I'm not for trans, drag queen story time. I think these are horrendous things. I'm not really for this whole leftist, you must say my pronoun bullshit. But in the face of standing in front of a 16-year-old and you're out and out just bullying them, you're just picking on a kid at that point. For me, it was just, you're just bullying a young kid. It doesn't matter whether she's trans, whether she's a boy, she's a girl. You guys are just being bullies now, and that's never a good feeling. I never want to be on the side of the bully. I honestly never thought I would I really found myself in an uncomfortable place. Although Wendell was there, and we were trying to be journalists, trying to be impartial, but I felt very uncomfortable with the people who were really just genuinely just bullying a bunch of 16-year-old kids. Because, look at these are kids, and this baying crowd of just grown people just hounding them. I can fast forward a little bit of this. Let's see if I can fast forward it, because the police tried to move them on. They knew this was going to get heated. Now, don't get me wrong. This young trans individual is a little bit mouthy as well. She should have just figured out, look, this is not the place, and let's just move the fuck on. But nevertheless, 16-year-olds. They are 16-year-olds, man. She said that that is hate all white people. Yeah, I mean, as I said, they were a little bit mouthy, but nevertheless, I would always expect the adults in the room, in the place, to be much more restrained, or much more, at least, just to like, okay, kids, move along. It's all right. You guys, you don't know what's going on here. But look at this. This is a bunch of kids. This is a bunch of kids, man. These are not, this whole. I mean, the thing is, behind me, you wouldn't be able to see it. There's a crowd building of adults, effectively, just talking shit to kids, verbally abusing kids. As that's my impression. That's what I see. I felt very uncomfortable in this situation. I'll be honest, because I felt like it's just a bunch of kids, a little bit ignorant. They don't really know. They're barely finding their feet. They're barely learning how to walk at this point. Burn. Exactly. They're all still kids. Bless. That's what I mean. Violet. I felt like I was standing on the side of the bullies in this situation. I didn't feel I was in the right. I was on the right side on this one. I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not for this trans movement. I'm not for this trans ideology. I think it is harmful to kids, but I'm not going to pick on this 16-year-old. This 16-year-old isn't going to be the one who's going to fix this situation. This 16-year-old isn't the pivotal, keystone to this move, to this anti-trans sort of lobbying, or pro-trans lobbying. She's just a child, or he is just a child who is, clearly confused with a lot of things. To be honest, I think in 20 years ago, this kid would just be a gay boy, just an over-feminine gay boy. Nowadays, it's just fashionable to be trans. We've all known young boys who were just feminine and girly and just gay. I think that's what this kid would be 20 years ago. He'd just be gay. Now he's trans because whatever. I hope to goodness he doesn't get any operations until he figures out what he is in life. I hope no butchering doctor comes at him with fucking knives and tries to cut bits of him off in order to affirm his trans and all that bullshit. That's all I hope for, because that's the danger. I'm digressing from the Iranian conversation. I'm sorry, but that is my worry, is that some butchering fucking sadomasochistic narcissist doctor or therapist will get a hold of this poor kid and start chopping bits of him off before he finds out who the fuck he is in life. And this is the danger of all of these gender-affirming therapy, is that these butchers go after these children before these children know who the fuck they are. This kid could grow up and just be a gay man in 10 years' time. He may just be gay. Nobody seems to take into account these kids could just be going through a fucking phase. You don't chop bits off them off, give them permanent fucking injuries, effectively. This is genital mutilation of young kids. Most people don't have a problem with calling out female genital mutilation through Islam and Islamic ideas and beliefs, but they don't fucking call this out. This history is going to be very, very, very. Is going to look upon this generation and this era as in a very bad way, where we mutilated children in order to uphold some bullshit ideology ironically of doing no harm. We harm children with the ideals of doing no harm. This is insane. But anyway, I mean, you can see they're getting kind of hounded away, and then they go over there, and then they kind of follow them over there as well. Unfortunately, these kids ended up being today's entertainment for this lot, and I felt terrible. I felt really, really shit about being on the wrong side of this. I personally think I should have actually turned the camera around and told these guys, go away and leave them alone. Look at this guy. I think that's Active Patriot, I think. I don't know, I forgot. But he got arrested. I think it's him, he got arrested. I just see this as very, very bullying, harassing tactics. I didn't like it. Look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, based if she said, I hate all white people or any of that shit. They're 16-year-old kids, dude. It doesn't really matter. They're 16-year-old kids. Most of the people around me were like over 30. We should have been the ones to say, look, whatever, just leave. Just get out of here. This is not a place for you guys. It's okay. Just leave. And that's it. We're done. Anyway, I decided to take Samadaga's advice and make my way to Trafalgar Square, and this is what I came across. So now, getting back on topic, because I insisted I want to talk about Iran. I don't want to talk about anything else, and I ended up spending 10 minutes on trans. So yeah, this is where we are, boys and girls. This was one of many protests in London that weekend. It's just this was the one I happened to be at. So you can see Christ, it's like 3 hours worth of footage. At least 2 hours of it is. Yeah, it is. At least 2 hours of it is just this protest that I was at. So there's just it's irrelevant really what they're saying or what they're not saying. But what I will say is I had almost an hour's worth of WhatsApp messages between me and my friend who is Palestinian, who is, a staunch believer in Islam, even though me and him have done plenty of alcohol together. We've done many, many bottles of tequila together over the years. But he's still Muslim. He still believes Islam is correct. And I said to him, if this regime falls, they will burn mosques down in Iran. Islam will not be in the future of Iran if this regime wants, or not even if, when this regime goes. Eventually they'll go. It's nothing lasts forever, and 44 years was a pretty good inning for any dictatorship. So their time will come to an end, but Iran will be the least Islamic nation in the Middle East. I'd say second to possibly Israel. Will be the least Islamic country in the. I mean, they will fucking burn. They will slaughter the mullahs. I hope they don't. Now, I hope they don't. I'll state my position honestly. I hope that Iranians do not act the vengeance upon those mullahs the way the mullahs killed and have been killing Iranians for 44 years. I hope they are better than that. But I tell you this, there'll be very few mosques left in Iran after this regime goes. Now, my friend was like, oh no, but the Sunnis. I'm like, dude, I don't think you realize the Sunnis and the Shiites don't give a shit. No Iranian doesn't give a fuck. This is the problem. People are like, oh, they're just blaming the regime. It's not Islam. Yes, it's Islam. It's absolutely Islam. These guys are not interested in just getting rid of the Islamic Republic of Iran. They are interested in getting rid of Islam. The Islam part of the republic is what they're pissed at. Not the republic. There are many republics. America is a republic. So I think France is also a republic. There are many perfectly fine republics. It's the Islamic addition to that republic that they want to get rid of. So don't think for 1 second Islam's going to have an easy time in Iran. Now, the one thing that I will, that I have also sort of, where is it? Darn it. Let me see. Hold on, guys. I may have to do some juggling of things, man. You see, I sent this to my friend, and I said to him, we will replace Allahu Akbar with this. This is what we will replace Allahu Akbar with. And don't get me wrong, I was trying to trigger him a little bit as well. I was trolling him a little bit, but we will replace Allahu Akbar with that. That will be the call sign of Iranians. That will be what we will replace Allahu Akbar with, which I personally think is a far better slogan than Allahu Akbar. It is a far more civilized slogan than Allahu Akbar, and we will replace Allahu Akbar with that, or some variation of that. I promise you. The Allahu Akbar won't last long once the mullah regime goes. But the funny thing is, the core of it was what I was saying to him. Is that you see, I used to be a very staunch atheist and anti-theist. I used to really hate religion in all its forms, and I think old age and generally growing up has given me some more insight, and I think religion has its place even now in the modern times. It has its place in a country. It does have a stabilizing factor to it. It does give people some grounding. It is the anchor in which keeps our civilized world from getting dragged into the sea by the tides. I think it does. It has that stabilizing effect, and so I think it is that we can't completely throw it out, but we can replace it with a far better ideology than Islam. And that's the critical thing with Iranians. Now, I don't know about Egyptians. I mean, I know Egyptians who call themselves fucking Arabs. I know Moroccans who refer to themselves as Arabs. They think they're Arabs. They're not fucking Arabs. You're Egyptians, you're Moroccans. You had thousands of years of history and culture before an Arab ever came across your land. And the difference between maybe the Egyptians and the Moroccans is the Iranians, they haven't forgotten this. They haven't lost this. We have a history, a culture, and more importantly, a religion to draw upon. So without Islam, Iranians are not lost in the wind, grasping at whatever ideology they might come across. And some of that might be, what's it called? Some of that might end up being communism, socialism, or any other sort of isms, or some sort of quasi-social nationalist type of scenario. We don't have to go down that road. And I do recognize that there is a need for the masses, not maybe the individual. Maybe Sam or Samada or myself can be atheists and be perfectly fine, but for the society to hold together, there has to be some form of religious grounding. And Iranians have that. They have it in their history, they have it in their culture, they have it in their DNA. And it is before Islam. And it is better than Islam. Now, they lost that because they were fat and happy for centuries after the conquests of Darius and Kurush were, they lived off the fat of the land for a long time. And their kings, their future, their sort of subsequent kings were spoiled. And they never appreciated what Kurush and Darius, did for them, the foundation they built for them. And they became lazy. Just like the Western world, really. Western civilization, the reason Western societies are having issues is because they're fat and happy. They are far too fat and happy. And they don't appreciate what their forefathers did. You live off the blood of your forefathers, and you don't and you don't even appreciate what they did for you. Most millennials and Gen Zs are oblivious to it. It is for now. It is for now, Terry, but not that. That doesn't mean it will be. It was 99% Zoroastrian at one point, and that changed. Things change. Things can change, and Iran may not be 100% non-Islamic, non-Muslim. There will still be Muslims, but they will be the minorities. They will be the equivalent of the Christians in the West. That's how I envision Iran's future. And Iran, as I say, the Iranians as a mass don't need to give up religion. They just can give up Islam. But they have foundational beliefs which they can go back to, and they can be grounded in a religious sense, just not the Islamic religion. That's the only thing. Now we'll see what happens. I mean, as I say, religion is a disease and a cancer that is very hard to kill. You can't, there isn't enough chemotherapy to get rid of religion. But I think there can be a switch in Iran. They can switch from Islam to others. And as I said, there are Baha'is in Iran, there are Christians, there are Jews. So there's plenty of options. So we'll have to gauge that. But at the moment, that's just a side conversation. So yeah, it's not something that we need to focus on. What we need to focus on is getting rid of the regime, and this is a clash between Shiites who were celebrating something to do with Ashura, I guess. I don't know how long this fucking Ashura celebrations go on for. It's ridiculous. But there was near Hyde Park, near Edgware Road, and the Iranians kind of came across. The funny thing is, you see the flags. Now the flags. This is the flag that I showed you guys on the intro. This is at the moment, and this is the Shah's flag. This is the previous regime's flag. So at the moment, that is being used as a symbol for anti-Iranian regime, current Iranian regime. But it's not necessarily that these people are for the Shah. It's just at the moment that's the symbol that they're going with, because it's again another it's a flag that's banned in Iran. You can't have it. Now the funny thing is, look out for the flag, for that flag. One of the guys is standing on the side of the Shiites, and yet he's waving that flag. And the women that are hijabis and all these other guys are dressed in black. Look, this guy in the yellow shirt, the flag he's got is the Iranian flag. So I don't know why the police have allowed these groups to mix like this, because they're not on, those guys are screaming Ya Hussein, and this guy is basically fuck the Iranian regime. In all honesty, these guys shouldn't even be fighting. This isn't the fight between Shiites and non-Shiites or Iranians who themselves could still be Shiite. You could still be Islamic and still hate the Iranian regime. You could still be a staunch Muslim and still hate the Iranian regime. My friend, the Palestinian that I was debating with, also agrees, and he wants the Iranians the protesters to win and change Iran. He's not against that. He just doesn't want what I want, which is an absolute reduction or possibly even close to elimination of Islam within Iran and Iranian society. I would go much further than he does, but he doesn't want the Iranian regime to win. Now you can see this chap. He's got a flag over his shoulder. This is the same flag which we call Shir o Khorshid, which is the lion and the sun rising from behind the lion. But you see, I don't even know what this woman is yelling. I honestly don't know what her. These are largely Pakistani people who happen to be Shiites or Libyans or other. What is your fucking dog in this fucking race? You don't have a dog in this race. This has nothing to do with you. So why are these Shiites even arguing against the Iranians? This has nothing to do with them. This isn't at the moment against Shiism. This is a march against the Iranian regime. So it's weird how these Shiites feel that they have to somehow have some kind of dog in this race. Let me fast forward some of this. Oh, by the way, I just want to point out this was Subject Access, so full credit to Subject Access for this video. Although Street Mike also has a segment that he recorded that he posted as well, but I saw it first with Subject Access, so I went with that. Now the police didn't divide the two sides properly. And this was a massive incompetence from the police, by the way, that they didn't actually properly divide these two sides. Oh, by the way, this happened on Sunday. So, as you can see, these Shiites started to follow kind of the Muslim, and that was the other thing as well. The Shiites are following the protesters, the Iranian protesters, as they are moving up towards the Islamic Center. I think Islamic Center, somewhere up Edgware Road. Well, no, I think they were going to that. There's a mosque on Kilburn. After you go through Edgware Road and the flyover, there's a mosque, the Shia mosque, and I think they were making their way there. And these Shiites, I don't know. Again, I don't see why they have a dog in this fucking race. It's nothing to do with them. Okay, now these guys kind of come out. And then there's a bit of conflict, bit of words exchanging. They do call them terrorists. And then shit just kicks off. Yeah, shit just gets real all of a sudden. Shit just kicks off. Heavy. Whoever... The guy has his belt round his fucking wrist. That's a classic move, the belt. Yeah, some crazy shit goes off here again. Insane. There is a bit which later on. Let me see if it's in this footage. I think it might be here. Okay, the police obviously the police move in to try to separate these lot, and there's a. Obviously, there's a Modine in every culture, and as you can see, this is the Iranian version of Modine. I just want you guys to know that yes, we have dickheads in every culture. I told you before, and I'll say it again. Morons are in every culture, every shape, every creed, every race. It is truly the thing that unifies us all, is that we all have idiots.
Suck your fucking mouth! Suck your mouth! Suck your mouth! Suck your mouth!
the Iranian Modine, ladies and gentlemen, the Iranian fucking Modine. Suck your mum, apparently. Suck your mum. Suck your mum is an old British saying, is that? Welsh. Okay, they're now all screaming death to dictator, death to Khamenei, and the usual chants. But I think there was one more piece of fighting. Yeah. There's another piece here which I wanted to also highlight. Now this is the Iranian group. Obviously, they're still in this area where the Shiites are. But look at this. Look at this cunt over here. This cunt holding the stick up. I'm literally in the black, in the sort of top right hand side. He comes in to try to kick some shit off again, instigate. And this asshole deserves a fucking ass kicking, to be honest with you, but whatever, man. Look at that. He came in, he smacked the now I'm gonna slow this down because you need to see the rest of this piece of shit. He comes in, he smacks the first person to instigate a fight. He came in, bam, he smacks the first person. He then starts running away, he's got a stick, the mob goes after him. Look at this piece of shit. Oh, now look at this lady. There's a lady here with silver hair. This is an old woman. An old woman. Keep an eye on that old woman with the silver hair. Okay, so he falls in. The people start kicking his ass. Now the old lady is trying to, I think, separate people or take people, stop them. I don't know what she's doing in the middle there. But something happened. Look, she falls over. She's falling over. Look at this. This old lady falls over. And look at this piece of shit. Look at this piece of shit. There's an old lady on the floor. And look what this cunt does. He punches an old woman in the fucking head. This is the bravery of your Muslim men, right? Your Shia Ya Hussein. Is this the bravery of fucking Muslim men? They punch fucking old ladies in the head. Look at this. Old lady falls over. This dickhead. Bam. Is this it? Is this the fucking this is Islam for you? And you want us to fucking love your Muhammad, alright? It's absolute piece of shit. If he got his ass handed to him that day, I would not be the one crying. I would sleep like a baby if that piece of cunt got his fucking ass. I would sleep like a baby if that piece of shit got his ass handed to him that night. But alas, no justice, no peace. Look at this. Look at this. This absolute piece of shit, you fucking dog turd. I hope you're proud of yourself. I hope his family see this footage. I hope to God someone sends this fucking cunt's family this footage just so they can see how proud so they can be so proud of their fucking Muslim son punching a fucking old lady in the fucking head. Anyway, yeah, shit kicked up. But it wasn't this time. It wasn't the Iranians that did anything. It was those pieces of shit Shiites who came with a stick and instigated all of this. So it was clear who started this one, and it had nothing to do with the Iranians. The Iranians were miles away. Oh, by the way, there's Big T as well. That's another sack of shit walking around fucking stuff in his face. So Big T was kind of in the middle of that as well, I guess, but it didn't look like he. I mean, obviously he's a fucking Muslim Shiite, but he wasn't involved in anything in particular. And then they're arresting someone. I think that's what happened. Hey, the lodger, big up. And that's that footage. But anyway, I mean, I think we can. I'm gonna save the rest. I did have a clip here from. Whoa, where is he? Where is he? Is this one? Yeah, this is Mehra Torsi, who's a very popular YouTuber in England. Political guy, usually covers a lot of political stuff. Now, this was in front of the Islamic Center in London, which is the place where, when Qasem Soleimani was killed by the Americans, by Trump, by the way, great fucking move by Trump. When Qasem Soleimani got killed, a whole bunch of Shiites gathered at this piece of shit fucking Islamic Center and prayed for that piece of shit that died by the hand of Trump. These are the enemies within. This is, when I was watching this, I was like, this is the enemy within. This is what we're fucking. There's a whole fucking crowd of these cunts. How is it Prevent should have a fucking bug up every one of these cunts' asses? They should have a camera inserted inside their fucking skull to make sure that they're monitoring every one of these cunts who came to that Islamic Center to pray for Qasem Soleimani, an absolute enemy of fucking Britain and America. How is it that these fucking people are allowed to come and pray for a fucking known enemy of this country? He was responsible for many American lives that were lost in Iraq and in Afghanistan. He orchestrated many fucking terrorist attacks and supplied the insurgency within Iraq. He was fucking key to so many fucking American soldiers and British soldiers dying. And these cunts come and fucking pray for him at the Islamic Center? This is the enemy within, guys. This is the enemy that we're talking about when we say the enemy within. Not these protesters, by the way. These protesters are protesting against. But there is.
Hello, everybody. We are in London.
Okay, I'm gonna save this one for tomorrow night with Manny, so we can go over that one a bit more. Now, I had to show this fighting scene though. This was too fucking good. There are other clips that I've seen as well, which from TikTok and stuff, which I'll have to download and then I'll play them tomorrow. This was Busker's clip. Busker's one is pretty tame. Not a lot happens, but this is where they were all going. This is the mosque. Now, you see that in the background, there's a dome, the green dome in the background with the police car vans in this image. That's the Kilburn Mosque, which the police locked out before anyone could get to it. Let me get a better image here. Hopefully you guys can see it a bit better there. So if you look between the trees, the two bushy sort of trees, that's the mosque. That's the Shia mosque that these protesters were trying to get to. And believe me, they would have fucked that up if they got to it. So the police completely cordoned off the entire fucking road in order to stop the protesters to get there. But that is what they were aiming for, and this is where the other protesters were going to. But Busker's video isn't really that sort of dramatic. There isn't a lot going on, unless there was another clip. Yeah, there was something kicking off later on. Later on, it kicked off again with some guy that they found that was some sort of a Basiji guy, and that became quite gnarly. Now, if I can, let me see if I can see that clip. I don't know if that clip is even available. A lot of protests. Yeah, that's the Islamic Center. That's the footage of the Islamic Center where they all went there and prayed for that fucking terrorist. What's his name? Qasem Soleimani. No, I don't think this was the one. There was another one that I've got another clip which I'll find for tomorrow night's one, which is really fucked up. But let me see, because Mehran's footage showed. There you go. This is This is a guy who actually managed. This guy actually managed to get to the roof of this Islamic center. I don't know how. This guy is some fucking Spider-Man parkour guy. This is the Iranians' answer to fucking Spider-Man, because this guy managed to make it to the Islamic center and then hung one of the old Shah's flags onto the Islamic center, which was pretty neat that he managed to do that. Let me see if I can fast forward. Mehran goes in and out a little bit. This is the guy. I don't know who he is, but fucking hell, man, the man has got balls. There he is. He's trying to hang the flag, and I think he manages to hang it over the bit there, and there it is. Oh man. And of course, there was also another protest. Now, I'm going to get those footage for tomorrow of the embassy. The Iranian embassy was also, there was a lot of protests there. In fact, I think I got some footage of my own the last week, not this week, but this was not this weekend, gone the weekend before. I had some footage, which I think I did upload. Where did I upload it? Yeah. I've got some footage of the. This was a very, very small demonstration. I'll be honest, I was kind of disheartened because I thought hardly anyone showed up to this. But actually, I didn't realize this protest was going to go on for much, much longer. Where is it? Come on. Yeah. So this was the protest I covered the week before this weekend at the Iranian embassy. The messed up thing was that even at this protest, let me fast forward a little bit. This is in slow motion. Even at this protest, there were two distinct groups. There was the communist group and then the royalist group. And at one point, I didn't catch the fight itself, but at one point, the royalists started to fight with the communists. They were actually fighting each other. And I'm like, holy shit, look at this. What is this? Like maybe 30, 40 people here at best. You have 30, 40 people and you can't even keep yourselves from fighting each other there. And you expect to rally 80 million people in Iran to go against the Iranian regime. You guys can't stop fighting amongst yourselves when there's only 50 of you. The 25 of you is fighting the other 25 because the royalists don't, the communists don't want the royalists. Now this is another thing which again I'm going to save for potentially tomorrow. But they say a house divided amongst itself cannot stand. And this is the problem with revolutions, is that once the dust settles, everyone's going to be fighting for their piece of the pie. Everyone's going to try to make their particular ideology the dominant ideology. You think the communists, the socialists are happy if Iran becomes a democratic republic with a constitution? No, they don't want that. They want a fucking communist society. The royalists, they want to fucking bring back the Shah's son to fucking have the Shah again. So unfortunately, this is the problem with revolutions. Sometimes they say better the devil you know, because the revolution is not guaranteed. It doesn't guarantee shit. In fact, you could end up with worse dictators and worse shit happening than what you already have. They could end up with worse than the Iranian regime. So that's the problem with the revolutions. Revolutions are tricky things, to say the least. Now, why is the quality of this thing so low? Why isn't it not clearing up? YouTube, come on, man. Work with me here, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's playing fucking around. But anyway, you can see, you get the gist of it. It's much more clear when I play it on I don't know what's going on this particular time. Maybe it's because I'm live streaming. YouTube has reduced quality or something. Maybe it's the double speed. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Why the fuck is the quality so fucking low? There we go. YouTube had reduced the quality to like 420. Son of a bitch. So yeah. That was the Sunday protest, but I'll be honest, this one was very, very sort of insignificant compared to compared to the one that was that happened this weekend. This weekend was crazy. I don't know what's going to happen next weekend, but I hope similar sort of things happen. But yeah, I mean, this was the one that I was at, and this one was just straight up insane. Hold on, let me pause this one. This was the live stream that I live streamed onto Speaker's Corner Online. So guys, I think please get everyone to subscribe to both Speaker's Corner Online and this channel, because in fact, preferably even just Speaker's Corner Online, because I mean, this channel is heavily shadow banned by YouTube and persecuted by YouTube. Basically, nobody gets shit that I post on here, but most people, I think the Speaker's Corner one, although we've had a few, we were banned for a week and we've been flagged a few times, but generally the Speaker's Corner one, I think, is a better channel to pay attention to the stuff that I post, because this one, I say, is just fucked up. Okay, what time is it? Oh shit, it's 10:20. I've already gone fucking hour or so before I even... Christ, I'm an hour in already. Didn't even want to be in. Didn't want to even have that longer stream. But okay, sod it. We'll give it a go. See who's interested. If anyone's interested in a chin wag, there's the fucking link. Posting the link. Pinned. Again, I will reiterate, I am mostly interested in the conversations of Iran. If you're not interested in Iranian politics and the current situation in Iran, I would rather you save it for the next time we have a chat. Big up, Based. Big up, my man, Based. How's it going? Right? I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. I missed you on fucking Sunday, dude. Saturday. What happened to you guys? You guys vanished.
Yeah.
You guys were.
On the way to Parliament.
Yeah. Go on.
Well, on the way to Parliament, we basically drove past Antifa in the cab, and I was like, "Drop me out here. I'll get out here." I thought. So basically, and I never got to the protest. I filmed Antifa.
So you never actually went to Parliament Square?
I did, but it was basically over when I got there.
It must have been way after I left then, because but I left when it was like fledgling and it was kind of dead, and so that's what one of the guys in the chat said to me. Go to Trafalgar Square. This is happening in Trafalgar, so I just started going up there. I figured you guys had already left. To be perfectly honest, I thought you guys had because Simon, he made his way back home in order to start a stream that night, right?
Yeah, I didn't leave. I didn't leave much long after him. I left about a half hour after him. So.
Okay. So yeah. How come?
I didn't stay. I didn't stay late.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. All I saw on your stream and Rev's was you guys walked over to some place was it like the Queen's, like Buckingham Palace or somewhere to pay respects? I think something like that.
No. Simon just was trying to find me because he was getting told I was filming Antifa, so there was nothing to film over there, so he wanted to find me.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, we were just filming Antifa basically.
And what happened? Did these guys do anything? Nothing happened. Nothing came of it.
No. Well, they were saying no borders, but they had like they were building a border themselves. They had these big black blankets that covered them. It's like a wall.
So no borders except the ones they built.
Yeah. And if you question anything they say, you're a fascist. Anything.
Well, yeah. The irony is that I actually wanted to I was tempted in my head. I wanted to kind of stand up and make some kind of speech about where is the Antifa now? Here's a real fascist regime you guys should stand up against. This was the Iranian the protest, and it's like, where are your feminists? Where are the anti-fascists? Where is Antifa now? This is an actual fascist government, actual fascist regime. None of you are out. You fucking whisper. Yeah. We don't hear a whisper from the Antifas. We don't hear anything from the blue head fucking although, don't get me wrong, there were plenty of Iranian feminists in that group. So that's why I wasn't sure if the feminist side would hold water as much, because the Iranian feminists were there, just none of the English feminists, none of the fucking beach whales that usually show up to I don't know, Donald Trump fucking protests. But the Antifa, nowhere to be seen. No, not a fucking whisper.
Do you know Brexit Brian?
Brexit Brian? No, I'm not
He's
sure.
a mixed race. He's a mixed race Londoner. He's like a bit of a. I don't know if he's a Cockney, but he's a Londoner. Yeah.
Okay.
So and he's a.
Oh, wait a minute.
Is
he the one? Is he the one that protested outside Parliament for like months on end, wearing the whole European Union flag and everything? No,
that's Steve Bray. That's drunk Steve. That is.
Yeah.
No, Brexit Brian is he's a patriot, mixed race guy. He hates Antifa, and he's on. You might have actually seen the footage. He filmed the guy that got murdered in Notting Hill. You know that when he got stabbed in the carnival and all the blood was on the pavement.
Seriously, I didn't see that shit. I didn't. I read about someone getting stabbed. I didn't realize he actually recorded it. So he actually had the footage.
Yeah. The commentary was quite sad. The whole thing. The blood on the pavement was it was puddling. That's how much blood there was.
Fuck yeah. Well, that's why the guy died. He probably bled out, didn't he?
Yeah. But it's funny because him and Antifa, they don't get on at all, Brexit Brian and the Antifa. And the thing is, they start calling him a racist. He's mixed race.
Oh, fuck, It
still makes me laugh. And then he changed it to fascist.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. I don't see any of these types of groups who are supposed to be anti-fascist, anti-this, anti-that. None of them are fucking showing up to any of these Iranian protests, where there's an actual fascist regime, actual fascism going on, actual women being literally killed because of hijabs.
Where if you were right-leaning, you could actually think that even if you wanted to show support for the women and the population to fight for their freedom, we most should feel quite intimidated going there because we might be taken the wrong way. We're being Antifa, being who they are. They should feel free to walk in there because if you're not fascist, then you're anti-fascist.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm not saying like the boys from like ADFL or anything like that. You're right. That might be construed as some kind of resistance. I don't know. It might get the message might get mixed up, or the people there may actually reject you guys coming up, or the Football Lads Alliance coming up because they don't want to be associated. I mean, I'm sure if Tommy Robinson rocked up to one of these protests, the Iranians would tell him to leave because they don't want to be associated. They don't want to be marred with that kind of politics. But the Antifa lot,
but being Antifa,
exactly. This is their fucking bread and butter. This is where they should be. The feminists, the Antifa types, the leftists. Not a whisper.
I think what is it? If you're not fascist, then you're anti-fascist. As simple as that. It's just straight down the line.
That's it. That's what it is. That's how it works.
So they're welcome everywhere. Can you imagine them turning up anywhere, like in any sort of other protests, and just like open arms? Oh yeah, come with us.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Even XR. Even XR don't cover up and go blacked out and all sort of crazy shit. They do civil disobedience shit.
This is why I think these guys are just LARPers. They're just LARPing revolution. In all honesty, I mean, I say that I don't want. I'm surprised there's no Antifas showing up, but I don't actually want these cunts anyway because these are LARPing revolutions. Iranians they go back to 1979 if you want to see an actual revolution. How shit goes down, and also even the Egyptians, in their Arab Spring, the Tunisians. All of these guys, that's how people fucking do revolutions and they do protests. These guys are LARPers.
I've been trying to push a clip to you. It was originally a Buskers clip. I'll put it in the back chat.
I've seen that one. I'm going to save that one for tomorrow.
You've seen that one?
Yeah, the guy, the Basiji guy who they fucked up. I mean, they fucked him up. Yeah, I'm going to save that for tomorrow night.
So if you actually look, when he's getting fucked up, I might be a different camera angle I've seen. I think it's someone else's camera angle, but it's the same incident. He gets stabbed in the eye with something. or stabs.
Yeah, he gets someone whacks him, but he also gets a bottle directly in the face. He gets a water bottle in the face, and I think that's what actually cut his like his where the boxers usually get cut, top of the eyebrow.
Wasn't that plastic?
The water bottle is plastic, but the water weighs it down. And do you see how fast those fucking missiles were coming? Those guys were fucking. Trust me, a boxing glove is really soft and cuddly. You know how soft. You know the leather on a boxing glove. My own boxing gloves. The leather is beautiful and soft. It's like a pillow. But trust me, when that fist comes at you, it'll fucking burst your fucking face open.
But what was funny was when he was being dragged away, there was two coppers. There was a WPC and a PC, and from what I could see from a very early age from the footage, is that the PC seems to be more skittish than the WPC. And then when the first sort of attack went in on him, they kicked him from behind. The PC let him go and just left it with a WPC. And then she got...
Yeah.
I think that bottle hit him.
Yes.
And then that bottle hit him, and then she went, "Oh, I'm off now," and all.
yeah. Once it became real, then they were like, "Yeah, fuck this guy. We have to. This is self-preservation," because it was literally just the two of them, and then a third guy kind of ran in. But what they were doing, which was what I couldn't get, was why the fuck did they not just shove this guy into the back of the van, shut the fucking doors, and drive away? They were trying to coast him to the side or some bullshit, and people were just fucking just going for him. So they should have just opened the back door, shove him in, get in here, you cunt, and get out of here.
And if you look at the two-tier policing now, if that was a like a freedom rally or somewhere like that where someone's not getting on with the crowd, or someone come in, right?
They would have gone in
they would have gone in straight away. Said, right, even if you're not causing any trouble, you're likely to cause trouble because they're going to react to you. Therefore, we're going to take you away. And if that means I've got to arrest you, I'll arrest you now, and then I'll de-arrest you later on.
Yeah, but this is the problem. Go on.
It's just crazy because why didn't those coppers didn't have to say all that? That's all they had to do was, right, you're coming in the back of the van.
Yeah.
I would just
for your own fucking safety, you idiot. You're gonna get fucking cracked.
But the funny thing is as well, it's about 20 seconds after that, he got up from the floor, picked his phone up, and he got up from the floor, then he started attacking people again.
I know, but the thing is that the Iranians, I'll be honest, it's an Iranian thing. It's also probably like Arabs too. They have this pride. So they're like, oh, I still want to fucking do it. Even though he knew if the police weren't there, he would fucking be dead. He would literally be dead. They would cave his fucking head in. So he was just an idiot. But one thing I will say, and this is quite interesting when it comes to the policing, because when you watch the videos on the Shia guys who were out celebrating or praying or whatever for Hussein, the Ashura guys, versus the Iranian protesters, when that shit started kicking off, when the police were shitting themselves, because once you politicize your police, now you've got two foreigners, both of them are foreigners, minority groups. Who are you gonna fucking go batons in with? They can do it with the ADFL guys if one half, believe me, if the Iranian half were white Englishmen, they would have fucking stormed those guys. They would have arrested like 10%, 20% of the fucking people there, and they would have fucking come in hard with the batons. But this time, it was two fucking foreigners, two groups of minorities, and they're like, if we crack any of these fucking skulls open, we are screwed in the newspapers. So they were caught between a rock and a hard place. The police, because they're fucking so badly politicized in London, especially, they can't do policing anymore. They can't actually do their job because they don't know if we beat this Iranian guy, he's going to claim racism. If we beat this Pakistani Shia guy, he's going to claim racism. We're fucked.
Yeah, well, they know they're fucked because of the Lord Mayor, but then they've got to say, well, we've got to play both the same now because we don't want to be seen as privileging one amongst the other.
Yeah.
we got to be as weak and as woke with all of them.
Exactly.
So
and
we
then,
got to pull our truncheons out. But whatever you do,
Don't hit
very
'em.
much last resort.
Yes.
Whatever you do, because I see them pull their truncheons out and basically do fuck all.
Yeah, because they couldn't. They
basically what
were
they did.
stuck. They're like, if we beat anyone up here, we're the ones in the shit for beating up a minority. So they were fucked. They were fucked. They couldn't do actual policing by warding people off and keeping them from fighting each other. That's why the groups just suddenly had that massive moment where they all clashed. And if you notice, the police weren't far away. It wasn't that the police couldn't get there in time. They just had to fucking wait to see how they can actually separate this shit without kicking the shit out of minorities, effectively.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching a podcast the other day with a slightly different, but it'll make sense to you in a minute. Where, like years ago in the football in the 80s, you used to have a brawl or something at an away game, and then nothing would happen. And the worst that would happen if you did get arrested, you get like a £50 fine.
Yeah.
And then that'll be the end of the matter. And then Margaret Thatcher come in and start prison sentences in for anything, basically, on all that sort of thing. And overnight, it stopped a lot of the fucking shit. Because people, you didn't want to spend a year in prison, you got a family and
because
job
people,
and all that sort of stuff.
They have consequences now for their actions, so they have to think about that shit.
So what's going to happen now with this lot being able to get away with it? They're going to get like encouraged by the weakness and the wokeness, and saying they're not going to nick any of us. Remember last week when they sort of had Abdul and he hit the copper and everything, and they just fucking basically just pushed him away. Do you see? That was just reminiscent.
Was that in? Oh yeah, you're talking about in the Leicester situation, yeah.
Well, no, not particularly. I was just making a scenario up.
Oh, okay.
I've watched multiple footage where the police are hands-on, and they're basically throwing people apart, but not arresting anyone. They're just like separated and as much as they can. And it'll just encourage them just to act worse because they know the police are going to be woke with them. But like you said, if they weren't woke, they won't get encouraged to keep on going.
Well, exactly.
It's only going to go one way.
Well, when it comes to the policing, the police are going to be useless in this situation, especially if you're going to get Muslims on sort of quasi. Well, let's say I'm just going to say Muslims on Iranians, because a lot of the Iranians, like Sam M put in the text, are atheists, non-believers, or absolutely hate Islam, even if they're religious. So most of the Iranian protesters are not going to be heavy Muslim. Most of them are going to be non-Muslim or something else. And so if there is ever a clash between like that one that we saw, Shiites and Iranians, it will be essentially, you can easily say Muslims and Iranians, Muslims and versus Iranians, that sort of a scenario, because none of these. But the thing is, this is a very, very odd situation, because a Muslim that's a Shia Muslim, which was what those guys were, they were not Iranians, and the Iranians, whatever we might think of the situation, they're not going to be, their aim isn't to get rid of Islam, at least outwardly. Their aim is to get rid of the regime, the Islamic Republic regime. And so this whole thing is not going to really, it doesn't, why are they going to be fighting Pakistanis? Their fight isn't with Pakistanis and Libyans and Iraqis. Their fight is with Iranian regime and actually other Iranians, Hezbollah type, fanatical Muslim Iranians. Anyway, let me bring on Hassan while you say, go on, say what you're going to say.
Well, I watched Sky today, and Sky is still saying it was over a cricket match, the old Hindu-Muslim thing, which is
that was the spark.
They're still going for that.
Apparently, that was the initial spark. But I mean, again, just like the Iranians, there is a lot of other underlining issues, and I'm sure the Hindu population, especially in Leicester, which is a massive Hindu population, as well as Pakistani population, there must be other underlining conflicts that have been going on.
It's what's going on in India, isn't it?
I mean, there's
Muslims have been persecuted in India. That's what it comes down.
Yeah, there is a Hindutva thing, but I think it goes back even centuries of when the Muslims ruled India. You know what I mean? So there
Agreed.
is. I think it goes back to that era more than anything
But
else.
Sky just say it is cricket. They literally just say it's cricket.
I know.
You
I
know,
know.
that's it. They
They
don't
can't.
like.
It's too politically charged for them to actually go into it and say, well, you know, when the Muslims were dominating India, they were fucking brutal assholes and they fucking slaughtered Hindus left, right, and center. Well, you know, they
There's
can't
5
exactly.
million
And now the
5
Hindus.
million deaths in the 50s.
Yeah, and so yeah, the Hindus are kind of getting their own fucking back in this particular generation. But the thing is, this is exactly the situation which someone like Nelson Mandela tried to avoid and try to curtail in South Africa. He said, you know, he did his utmost to stop the backlash, the effectively the revenge taking on the whites of South Africa. But that, as soon as he died, that whole thing fell apart, and the South African, you know, blacks are effectively slaughtering the whites. The whites are like 8% now or something, the Boers. So this happens everywhere. This happens everywhere. People will not. I can tell you, 1400 years, and well, no, it's not 1400 years. Maybe let's say 1,000 years. Best part of. Iranians still despise Arabs for their conquest of Iran and Persia. They despise Arabs. I mean, really fucking hate Arabs. I had no idea how much Iranians didn't like Arabs until like
That's
20 years
like
ago.
despising the Italians, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not joking.
The Romans.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. The British and the French have never had a happy coexistence. The French, you guys hated each other for centuries because of all the wars you guys have fought, and even today, which you're all supposedly, you know, you're not European Union buddies. You're not really. The French still have you know, issues with the English, and the English still hate the fucking French, and the Germans the same. And the Germans one is even more recent because that only happened in the last fucking century. So there are still underlining conflicts with these societies, with these nations, and those same things. The way the English feel about the French is the way the Arabs, the Iranians feel about the Arabs. They don't have, there's not this lovey, chummy thing going on. Nothing of the sort. But, you know, it is what it is. And that's why it erupts when these two groups come together. And in the case of the Indians and the Pakistanis, that's Leicester for you. These groups have been kind of, I think this has been, what's it called, the pressure cooker. It's like it's been boiling in the pressure cooker for a while. And a cricket fucking match sparked it. Just like the Iranians, the death of this girl. You think the death of this girl is unusual? You know, I can give you lists of girls like that being killed.
Yeah.
Last time when the Iranians protest, I had a list of 14, 15-year-old, 12-year-old children. I forgot. I had it on my Twitter. I'll bring that up again. Children, 12, 11, 14, 13. That was the average age of the kids that I had on this little collage. That's what they were doing. Those are the people they killed. The last protest the Iranians had. So this girl, 22.
I'm asking you one thing.
Oh, sorry, go on. Hey, how's it going? Big up, Hassan. Big up, Hassan. Let's bring in Hassan.
Find it a little bit. Yeah, big up there. But yeah, one love to Speakers Corner Online. Please hit that like, sub, and all the good things. Of course, or as to the kitty in that sense. Guys, I was just going to ask you one question, Banks. Totally off that subject, but on the subject that you want to go on to. Do you seriously think that Islam is going to be able to coexist like without Iran in that sense?
Oh, you mean in Iran?
Iran's going to be able to coexist without Islam?
Oh, yeah. Iran can survive without Islam.
I don't think that's a possibility.
Well, this was the argument I made earlier on. Are you saying that Iranians couldn't survive without Islam?
But no, what I'm saying is that the system that they've put in there, it's an Islamic state, isn't it?
Well, right now, sure.
Run by mullahs and all the rest. Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying is that that system needs to be totally replaced and be put in.
Yeah.
I don't think with what's there, that's a possibility. Like, it's not like there's a 30% secular society there, or
there's more than
underlined.
Dude, there's more than 30% secular society. If you take, you see, the thing is, unlike Afghanistan,
in an Islamic state,
look. Unlike Afghanistan, that had first of all multiple warring sort of periods with the Russians, then with the Americans, etc., and the Pashtuns being this large minority group. Iran doesn't have that. Iran it has it doesn't have that. It's got villages, but it doesn't have village elder tribal mentality. They have several very large, very metropolitan cities. They have Tehran, which is the main capital. Then they've got Qom, they've got Esfahan, Mashhad.
They had all this.
Sorry,
they've had all of this, but pre 1972 they had all of this. But again, it's the infrastructure that covers this that you're somewhat missing the point on. It's like it's irrelevant. Like the people, like they've just become like lost sheep. Like if there's not a system there that these people can sort of like go, right, you know what?
Well,
we've got an alternative. What we do is make the alternative stronger.
No, there is.
In Iran, it's not.
There's a couple of alternatives, and people have been building up that.
You can get an atheist be elected.
Well, they can actually. I mean, this is the funny thing. If it comes to it, and it appears that having some sort of republic and a like constitutional republic like the United States is an absolute impossibility, that they can't get that. There is the previous Shah's son who's still alive. The family is still very well respected, and there are staunch royalists that want to get them back. Even if the republic sort of aspects doesn't churn out, there is an alternative secular system, which would be either a constitutional monarchy or even an outright monarchy as an interim government, in order to establish a stability in the country after a revolution, and then move towards an all-out republic or a constitutional monarchy like Britain. But those options are still available to the Iranians. It's not completely out of the ordinary if those are not. But there's not only that. There is actually one other group, which is the Mujahideen of Kelp or something like that. I forgot the MLK. Sam Mujahideens. What is their logo? What is their name? Could you please? Sam knows them. Sam knows those guys. So there is that group. Now, I'll be honest, that group is the group which I am scared to death of, because they are most likely to hijack any kind of Iranian revolution. Now, I'm going to put all that videos together.
All revolutions are prone to that.
Yes, I mean, yes. And these guys, they're in Albania.
From doing what they got to do.
Exactly. Mujahideen of Khal, which is Khalg, which is actually a group that is established in Albania right now. They have a massive camp. They've got soldiers, they've got tanks, they've got proper hardware, military hardware, and they're the ones that the Americans were trying to push to be the ones who create a revolution in Iran, and then have them put in place. But they're more Islamic than the fucking current regime. That's the problem with that fucking lot.
What I was trying to say to you is like for example, it's like replacing the system with the same system is all you're saying. Like for example, you're telling me that the monarchy can replace it, but everyone fears the monarchy.
No.
To me,
no.
Religion can replace it, but it's just going to be a more stringent version of Islam. But no, you're not. Like,
no.
What you're doing is you're just replacing it.
I understand.
Your mic shit, isn't it?
It is a little bit breaking up, Has. But one thing, I get the gist what you're saying. But what I'm telling you is, at the moment, at least the rhetoric. I can't say for the actual results if this ever happens. The rhetoric of the current Shah's son, who's still alive, is that I will only step in as an intermediary to keep the country in a stable situation until an actual constitution and a democratic system is established within Iran. He at least from his rhetoric, he has no intention of being an actual ruling king. He just wants to step in order to, because after a revolution, most countries are in chaos and extremely unstable and extremely prone to hijacking by extremist groups. So if he is to be in a stabilizing figurehead until the country settles and then actually sets up a democratic process, then that's what he will do. But those are sort of the options. It may be that we may not need that at all. That they can go straight into and draw up a constitution and set up a constitutional republic.
It doesn't sound much like options. It really doesn't sound like much like options, to be honest with you. You're like genuinely, like I get that there's an evolution that it does go forward in that sense, and sometimes you've got to take a step back. But I don't think that's going to happen there. I think they're going to keep with their religion. This thing's just going to blow over. Again, like you just was explaining, you've got lists of people that this has happened to in the past, previous. Understand me? And I don't think this is going to stop. Understand me? Again, this is more, and again, I'm not going to say it's them, because my thing is that this is just another destabilizing it for what currently Iran is going through. Tying themselves with Russia, they're going nuclear. There's a lot of things that geopolitically Iran is heading for. And again, this is just some way of the West intervening with, like, shamelessly in regards to lives being lost in Iran, Tehran, and many other places in this world. Because
the thing is,
and again, I just want to remind people that what we do when we get ourselves involved with other people's countries' policy, what we tend to find out is we find terrorists at our door. And I think our people have come to the sort of realization. If you want that revolution, you guys have got to go for it yourself. On your soil.
The thing is, Hassan, nobody's asking. No Iranian is asking for foreign support. The only foreign support they're asking for is share the Twitter feeds or share the stories and the news. And also there is one other thing that was asked, which Elon Musk provided, because the Iranian regime have cut off the internet completely, so there's no information, or at least minimum information, getting out. So what apparently Elon Musk has done is, because Elon Musk has a network of satellite internet system which he wanted to Starlink. He's actually brought Starlink online and allowed the Iranians to be able to connect to it and then send out their information that way. So this is what's happening as far as foreign support is concerned, things like that. But no, like military or any shit like that. No Iranian wants that, because they've seen what happened in Iraq. They've seen what happened in Afghanistan. They know that America doesn't have a good track record of nation building.
America's got a conscience when it comes to going into war. Like, they're already talking about it in Taiwan against China. They're already in Ukraine with NATO soldiers. So I doubt very much that they're worrying about the cost of human lives.
Oh, no. It's not that they're worried about it. Well, what I mean is the Iranians don't want it. I know for a fact the Iranians don't want anything like that. They don't want any of this sort of interference. In fact, the first thing they asked, I mean, I could hear in the protests,
the mullahs to peacefully hand over power.
No, not at all. Not at all. My estimates were, this was 20 years ago, I made the estimates of maybe up to 1 million people potentially could die to get the mullahs out.
Easily.
So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Like, potentially 1 million people in Iran could die before the mullahs go, because these mullahs are fucking vile. I mean, they have no qualms in just slaughtering, just hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, and by the way, they themselves
and let them starve themselves. I mean, that's how they normally do it.
Yeah, but the thing is,
the water to an area.
They will use all the tactics. But not only that. You see, in most revolutions, you get a point in which the police and the military turn on the ruler, because the police realize that they can't stop this. It's gone past a certain point, and so the military leaders, they start to vie for the next guy that's going to come in, because they know the next guy is coming, so they want to keep their position. They want to keep their position of power, so they will turn on. That's what happened with Hosni Mubarak in Egypt. They will turn on that dictator and then jostle for power after he's gone. And there will, if that moment comes where Iranian police will no longer go and beat up and kill Iranians, the military will no longer do that. But that's what I'm trying to get to. They will
Like
bring in
Yemeni soldiers, for
Hezbollah. No. They'll bring in Hezbollah. Iran has been funding Hezbollah for decades. The mullahs, they built their own, if you like, mercenary army in Libya and Lebanon already. They've already got it ready to go. It's, so they will bring
and
all
also
those
the one that
Hezbollah,
Albania as well.
possibly Albania, possibly other places.
This is what I'm trying to say. There's like that. That's not the problem. The problem is that the funds are going to be there, and there's really no exchange. What you're saying is we're going to exchange one power for another power that's just as bad, and the other power, fuck if that power don't work, the other power that's going to come is just as bad. But
The thing is,
they can overrun it and manage it, but it doesn't sound. What I'm saying is the average Joe on the Iranian street right now ain't going to see him better off making any move than stay with this one here.
yeah, there you go.
Again, this goes back to that thing where I say where people are just going to die for nothing. Again, because this is just West stirring up trouble.
I mean,
as Iran is getting strong.
The fact is,
we have seen that Iran is getting stronger.
The fact is, Hassan, what are the other options? How are the Iranian people ever going to get rid of this regime? What do you envision? What's your solution?
What your mum and dad did.
Yeah,
Do what your mum and
they
dad
went out
did.
into the streets and they threw Molotov cocktails.
That's what you got to do.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's the beginning. It has to start somewhere.
They've just got they've got to get out of the country. Like, this is what I was trying to say.
No, you saying all Iranians should just leave Iran? That's your solution to getting rid of the Iranian regime?
Well, that's the best way to get rid of it. Like what you're mentioning here is, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to go either biochar us or pyrolyze us or jump into a volcano. All three options are shit.
No, but that's the thing.
Smart people export them.
No, that's the problem. That's not gonna. That's not gonna change this regime. This regime will remain forever. It will never leave them.
People still need to be paid.
And where are they going to go?
Well, that's the other thing as well. So
I don't want to be nasty, but
so we're talking about Western Europe.
Export.
We're talking about Australia, New Zealand. So just basically haul out 80 million Iranians into fucking all these other countries around the world.
Iran are generally the highest in population on dinghy arrivals. Iranians.
Yes, yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Most of them are coming out of Iran, out of Syria, out of Iraq.
Well,
most of these dinghies are filled with Iranians, Syrians, and Iraqis. Well, Iraqis and Afghans as well. But what I'm saying is, dude, no, that's not a solution. That's not a solution for the people who live in these other countries that these Iranians are going to migrate to.
The country has one, Banksy. Doesn't sound like you. This is what I'm trying to say. It's not like you guys have got a.
They do.
Open, fair, democratic system that works.
Dude, they have multiple democratic options.
Something far more vile and far more stronger, oppressively.
Look,
that's not a better option, Banksy.
But no, the thing is, you are guessing at that. This is the problem, that no one knows what happens after a revolution. No one knows. People can make guesstimates. People can make predictions. No one knows. And yes, you're right. The chances.
People's lives die for just a chance.
The fact is that sometimes some people you have to, because there is no 44 years of this regime. What more? How many more? 40? Do you want to wait for another 44 years? You want to wait for the 88 year to do it? You want to wait for the 108 years to do it?
Well, I tell you what you don't want to do. You don't want to do what the Allies did.
That. In Saudi Arabia, no one expects the Saudis to be for women's rights and kids' safety. Like, if that's that part of the world, then that's it.
But that's
like, for example, Turkey is that, Cyprus is that, Egypt is that, and then
Turkey wasn't that. Turkey was far worse before Ataturk came.
And it improved, and now it's far worse again.
But it's not nowhere near as bad as it was before Ataturk. It is declining right now. Under Erdogan, it's kind of circling the drain, but it can be recovered. Turkey can easily, if you chuck Erdogan out, Turkey could be back on his feet again. So I don't see.
If you chuck Erdogan now, you're going to get Gulen in its place. Like, no offense, like the people that are being put into these positions, they're not what we call our choice of people, Banksy. And we use like this fairy tale notion of like someone that's going to be in that higher position that ain't done real strong stuff to get there.
Look,
it's going to be this fair, just person.
Unfortunately, I mean, you can, as I said, I mean, obviously everybody has their own opinions. My issue isn't that the Iranian people shouldn't get rid of this regime, just because some, as I say, I already made this point. The better the devil you know, because sometimes the next guy could end up being worse, and it is true. But just because the next move or the next thing could be terrible, but it could also at the same time be amazing. It could be the most greatest democratic nation in the Middle East. It could be an example, a light to all the other nations of how a Middle Eastern country can be democratic. So you can't just go down that road of, oh, the next guy is going to be terrible. Because I think I know where you come from. Your pessimism comes from the basis that there are certain people who are never going to allow Iran to prosper, who are never going to allow Iran to have a prosperous democratic or some form of republic that
There's
is...
a lot of grassroots that needs to be established before something like that could even be.
I think Iranians have that, though. That's the thing. I don't think you know Iran well enough to say that they don't have it.
Like, for example, it has to get to a state of like the Lebanese at the moment, where 90% of its people are out of the country, able to make these big moves. Iran is nowhere near that.
Iran? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Offense,
Lebanon has got Lebanon's got a catastrophe on their hands with Hezbollah gaining more ground and their economy being down the fucking shitter.
1 second. I promise I won't going to talk about this, so I'm not going to really cover it. But there's talks progressing into the direction of them now being able to give them an entity when they didn't have one before. I'm not going to cover too much again in regards to that, because I don't want it to go to that. But all I'm saying is that Iran at the moment is getting a lot stronger, weirdly, and for some strange reason, the thing that liberated the women now seems to be the problem. Like the thing that I remember in 1972, cover yourselves, ladies, it's for your liberation, now has become the death call.
No, it was never cover yourself, it's for your liberation. It was actually forced on them through offices, then through shops, and so on and so forth. It was a gradual process of forcing women to wear hijab, because they couldn't go to the offices.
A few of my Iranian sisters that literally that were the case. They did it with honey more than with salt. Like with all things in life, if you get them in the right positive mindset, they're gonna be more compliant. Like you made plenty of examples. They don't need to be so drastic. They just have to make a few little maneuvers, and it's acceptable. Oh, the banks are down today, but you could get it in digital currency. Like we don't see money, but everyone deals with it. But is there real money that you see?
Oh, I see. You're talking about the slow sort of progress towards getting you homogenized towards something. Yeah, but the thing is, right now, as it is, the women in Iran are absolutely, especially this younger generation, because this is the other thing as well. I forgot, something like 70% of the Iranian population is under 30 or 30 and below. They have a massive population of very young people because of the sort of the Iran-Iraq war. So many men died that their population is extremely young. And so that's the other side of Iran, is that they have a very young, racinated population that wants to have more of effectively what the West has. They are very clued up about what's going on in the Western world. They're all over social media. They are not some, this isn't Afghanistan. This isn't really, I mean, I don't know, Iraq, Iraq was secular under Saddam, but generally, Iranians, the young generation, they know what's going on. They know what's happening over here. and with the social media and everything, I don't think these guys are gonna go down the road of Afghanistan for sure. They're totally, I mean, like 360 different when it comes to comparing Iran to Afghanistan. Iran to Iraq. Now the Iraqis.
I'm not going to argue that young people don't then later become older people that think like the generation that they came from. Like this is the thing. This is another notion. Like, yeah, it's like at the moment it's marketed as this, but this ain't going to change the fact that this is what's going to be. They're going to be grumpy old women that are going to tell their kids what to do. Like this is what it is. Again, it's where that system is that.
I don't know. I think.
What kind of progress? Wait, hold on. Is Iran going to be New York tomorrow?
It was on its way in the 70s and 60s. It was literally building things like LA. Well, no, that's the other thing as well. Even now, if you look at and the infrastructure and the skyscrapers and all the different things that they built, yeah, Iran isn't. This is the thing. You should really go and look at pictures of even modern day Tehran now. It still has very nice infrastructure. It has Tehran has an underground system, brand new.
I look at North Korea and they've built fucking beautiful looking buildings. So like, it means nothing if the people in there are not ready. It's like, for example, there's that sketch. It's like, I want a bacon sandwich. Fucking eat, drink your kid and.
Oh yeah, Omi Jalili. No, it's what Omi Jalili said. It was a skit. He said in Dubai you can get everything you want. They're like, you want beer, you want alcohol, we have alcohol. You want woman, we have woman. You want us to blend woman, we blend woman. And then he goes, well, actually, what I really want is a bacon sandwich. What? I am sorry, sir. This is a Muslim country. We do not serve pork here. Please drink your woman and leave.
Drink a woman and get out.
Because they blended the woman.
It's not trying to say It's a total different mindset, bro. It's a total different mindset. And like, for example, what?
No, but that's Arabs, dude. I'm telling you, Iranians are not like that.
Not far off what's offered. It's not far off what's offered.
I honestly think you're mistaken. I mean, the thing is, it's irrelevant really. What comes after the mullahs? Right now, it's literally the case of putting the cart before the horse. We have to get rid of the mullahs first. That's the step that we're at right now, is getting rid of the mullahs.
What's good? Like, what would you replace it with? Like, what is?
It doesn't matter at this stage. I honestly, if you actually talk to I don't know if you're in London or whatever, but try to come down to central London next Saturday, Sunday, because I'm sure there are going to be more protests, and just have a chat with most of them there.
Be honest with you, do you know the worst part of it is? I don't think you're really seeing this as this is not. This is more like a Kurdistan event that is used for their benefit. I don't think that's another thing that you guys like are not seeing.
Look, the girl was a Kurd. It's true that the girl was a Kurdish.
Again, it's making these a relevant point that adds fuel to this fire. Like, it's that nation's laws govern this to be like so. Stop fucking being your state has some autonomous authority over. It doesn't.
Look, I can't go to
again, this is this
to the Kurdish motivation.
Entitled, like this entitlement that people put on themselves when really there's no basis for it. It's like, wait, it's like your entitlement is above mine then, and who's gonna fucking want that? No one. So you're already looking for conflict.
Look, the thing is, there's like I said to you, once if a revolution truly takes place and the mullahs are gone and the dust settles, yes, there will be a bunch of groups trying to vie for power. I went to one demonstration on not this Sunday but the previous Sunday in front of the embassy, and there were two out of a group of like 50 Iranians, not even 50, I think like 30-40 Iranians. There was a communist group and then there was a royalist group. They were fighting in front of the fucking embassy out of a bunch of 50 people. And I'm like, you seriously think you're going to be able to govern a country of 80 million?
Again, this is what they want. Because whilst you're fighting, arms are going to get sold. The security forces are going to...
I can't understand it.
Yeah, but look...
Are you seriously saying you can't understand me?
No. I think it's because your mic is kind of low. But yeah, I mean, I've got headsets in, so I can pick up. But
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But yeah, the mic is low.
It sort of like fluctuates lower as you're talking. It sort of drifts away.
How's that? Is that better?
I think so,
it's all right. I mean, I think it's just the way it is. It's your phone or your headsets or whatever. But what I wanted to point out is that even if there's going to be fighting over power and position and all that stuff and ideologies after the mullahs are gone, the number one thing is the mullahs have to go. Everything else after that has to just simply be a what if. This may happen, that may happen. But I think if you start to distract from what the actual goal in front of the Iranian people is, which is the mullahs have to go, dude.
We know who's going to...
But dude...
But bro, we know... Now, you're making it like as if... I get it, but we know what's going to be replacing them. According to you...
No one knows. No one knows. No one, 100% I can tell you, no one, anyone who tells you that they know the Middle East, they don't know the Middle East. Anyone that tells you that they know what might come after an Iranian revolution, they don't know. They are guessing. It's their best guesstimate. No one...
All I know is that they're going to be knowing that how many arms are going to be getting sold to these areas. They're going to know how much security these people are going to need. They're going to know where these people are going to want to live. They're going to... This is what I'm trying to say. This is not for an Iranian revolution.
Sorry, Bass, could you mute yourself when you're moving around? It's like you're scraping noises. It's insane. Thank you. Look, Hassan, I'll be perfectly honest with you. At this stage, most Iranians don't even care. They don't even care what may or may not come, or what's going to happen, or what's... They just want to get rid of this fucking regime. This is where they're at. I mean, they're literally saying the chants are, we don't care even if we die. We're gonna get rid of you. Yeah. These are the basic like chants that are going out. I forgot how they said it in Iranian. They had like a little rhythm to it, but generally, yeah, we're gonna fight till we die. We don't even care about dying anymore.
I saw in Iran, we need a system that works there. That's all I saw. All I saw is you can't do this to our sisters, and that's right as well. But again, I'm not seeing nothing what you're saying that we need a revolution. We need no.
But that's the. I don't know. Maybe you don't hear the Iranians, because I hear the Iranians.
I hear it.
They are screaming death to Khamenei.
All the noises
dude, death, outside. Screaming death to Khamenei in Tehran. I'm not talking about in England, in London or France or any shit like that. I'm talking. There are pictures. There are videos. Go to Twitter and see it. Go to TikTok and just type Iranian protests. There are people in Tehran screaming death to Khamenei. There are Iranians in Tehran. This was a death sentence, if you ever said that historically. These things were death. You would disappear if you said death to Khamenei, death to Khomeini. They are shouting it in the middle of the street now. Women are burning their hijabs. There are literally bonfires of women's hijabs. This is not that. These are things that people used to get killed for.
Once upon a time.
Yes,
upon a time
and
women
that paid
burnt their
off.
bras,
And that paid off.
and they had a sexual revolution, and then guess what? 30 years later, they're lumbered with single bastard children.
Look,
Oh, what? Wow, you
dude,
really fucking
who?
did what?
Nobody does a revolution
what?
worried about what's going to happen 30 years from now. You're going to end up with single fathers and dude, you are like way off on this. Nobody starts a revolution
You're
and
talking
wonders
amazing
about
that has got
the side
nothing
effects
to do
30 years from
with
that
that.
revolution.
They do think that.
No.
They do think that.
Well, let's put it this way: the Iranians right now,
mums out there.
the
They've got
Iranians.
mums out there. I'll tell you what, the mums out there right now are sitting down thinking, my kid's got to go to school tomorrow, and currently there's a system that applies this school. There's a system that, guess what, there's some form of justice, and guess what, as long as I know how to act, guess what, nothing's gonna happen. Unlike some spoiled little bitch that went down there. I'm sorry to say this, bro, but went down there and thought, you know what, I'm this instead of that. But you're not, bro. You're not. And you got taught that you're not. You died horribly in a fucking cell somewhere, proving that you're not. And now you got a whole load of your sisters out there and brothers out there doing the knots as well and dying exactly the same. And as well as that, nothing's going to change.
Well,
nothing's going to change.
Unfortunately, I don't. See, that's the difference. I don't agree on your pessimism.
What got your revolution started is what's going to end your revolution. Your headscarves. Fuck off.
Well,
fuck off.
I mean,
started your revolution.
I can't agree with that.
Got secularism. You guys got secularism out through the hijab. You got your most beautiful girls in the Middle East covered up. Okay, got the most educated of them to become dumbs, and from here you're gonna evolve to where, Banksy? Bro?
Okay, sorry. Victoria is saying that fill in the gaps. Victoria, I'll be honest. I don't know how badly Hassan's mic is at your end. It's hard for me to how do I fill in the gaps? The sort of in a nutshell, he's saying that the potential this is not going to change anything. That these protests are not going to go anywhere. That they're most likely going to die out. I'll be honest. I'm not going to 100% say I disagree with you, Hassan, on this potential. This particular wave of protests, but wave after wave, eventually the Iranian government will go past the point of no return, in which they can't. The people will simply not be quelled, and they won't be scoured into silence anymore. And once it gets to that, there's a precipice that it needs to reach. Once it gets there, then that's it. All hell's gonna fucking break loose. And it doesn't matter if they bring in all the Hezbollahs and all the other fucking mercenaries from all around the world that the Iranian regime has built. They can't stop it anymore. The wave is just the tsunami is too powerful and too strong at that point for them to really do anything. And dude, I'm seeing protests in some of the most religious cities in Iran. I'm seeing protests in like Qom. Qom is one of the most religious part of Iran. Most of the people there are like uber Islamic, and I'm seeing them protesting. So this is why I'm seeing something different here, not the usual people.
I could already see how this goes down. There's going to be one little attack. You know what? All they've got to do is just show a little attack on your home soil. You know what? Show, oh look, we're all divided, and watch how everyone just scurry up into the same ball that they.
How do you mean attack from a foreign power?
Yeah, I'll give it the most a simple example, like what we've done with the Americans. Oh, the figures are down. Oh, look, we're not polling right. Oh, we'll start a war. The country's going to need us to say, oh, look, we need us to be strong. And everyone unites, bro. Like, this is just human behavior, bro. Like, this is not something that's going to break it. And again, this weren't an Iranian woman. Like, if you said, yeah, where are you from? She's not going to be saying, I'm an Iranian. So you guys ain't got that neither. When that comes out, I say, what? This is just going to be like, this. I'm sorry to say this is going to be another Chris Carver shooting where people are going to be like, oh, fuck. Oh, we come out looking like idiots again. All right.
What do you
Go
mean?
back in there.
No, you don't. You know, this is the problem. This is the problem. Chris Carber, when they were protesting, saying that he died because the police killed him and police brutality and all that, and the video came out that no, he was doing some shit wrong, and that's led to the event. This isn't but dude, this is nothing to do with this woman's death. The woman's death.
You've not seen the video
Hassan.
of this woman cheaping up the police.
Hassan, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter even if she was kicking and screaming. Dude, it doesn't matter even if she was fucking slapping the police. They stopped her because she wasn't wearing the hijab correctly. That law in itself is unjust. To resist an unjust law is incumbent upon citizens. No, dude, but this is the thing, Hassan. It is incumbent upon the citizens to resist an unjust law. So it doesn't matter whether she was fighting the police or not, or going in without objection or going in with objection. The law to force women to wear this thing itself is unjust, and yes, because the people are not just. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. And also the other part of it is, this is just a catalyst. This is just a spark of grievances that people have had for 40 odd years. So if this catches fire, if this catches momentum, then this isn't about just one woman getting killed because she didn't wear a headscarf, or she.
Guess what? Their fuel bill's going to come in, and guess what they're going to do? They're going to complain about it.
No. Iran has been on the sanctions. People have been. Do you realize? I was talking to a friend of mine whose wife and son and everyone goes to Iran fairly regularly, like every 2-3 4 maybe 6 months. So we're talking 2-3 times a year they're in Iran. He said to me, people eat meat maybe once a month as a luxury. You honestly think they're worried about their gas prices going up? Iran has been under sanctions for years now, and they are suffering like you don't believe. They were protesting because they didn't have water only a few months ago.
Exactly.
So you think they're worried about gas prices going up? You are thinking completely different. They're already in the shit.
You keep saying that. It's like they were happy enough to eat meat, and you tell me about the story of their water going. They're the type of people that understand the very value of making sure that the system that is feeding their kids is going to be there.
No, but that's the thing. They're not feeding their kids.
You're the one with the no. No, again. According to you, they're not. According to you, your Western standards, yes, they're not. Their standards, they're fucking up. And again, this is the Western head of let's just get involved, sort things out.
No. Nobody's asking anyone from the West to get involved. We are just simply.
We hear the ringtones already. I'm sorry to say this, but yeah.
Okay.
In Iran, they can't sort it out. So what we got to do? What we got to do? Nothing. What we got to do is we got to stop having Kurdish people going into other people's countries and kicking up storm.
First of all, the Iranian Kurds are Iranians. They're not considered separate from Iranians.
So stop.
They are Kurdish, but they are Iranians. They're not separate from that, first of all. Second of all, this girl, by the way, this girl was Kurdish.
Ask yourself.
Dude, I would be considered part Kurdish.
You know what?
I was born in Tehran, but I would be considered part Kurdish. This girl was living in Tehran. She wasn't living in Kurdistan or some Kurdish segment of Iran. She was living in the capital, just like me. Just like my mum is half Kurdish.
Wait, hold on. All right. So what's that entitled?
There's nothing to do with entitled. Nothing. She's an Iranian girl who was killed by the morality police for not wearing her headscarf properly. That's the bottom line. That's the story. That's what happened.
Why?
It doesn't matter whether she was Kurdish or not. It makes no difference about her background and heritage. She could have been Kurdish. She could have been Turkish. She could have been Lor. She could have been Arab.
I think is a twisted narrative there, and I like to challenge her on that.
No.
Right. So she's in a country where it's standard to wear this shit. Right? Like, it's irrelevant what we think. Like, we're not like, for example, if I went to fucking China and saw a whole lot of people in fucking komodos, I'm not just like, oh right, that's it. Everyone needs a fucking komodo.
No, no one's forced to wear a fucking komodo.
Yeah,
you are forced to wear a hijab.
Then is it? Wait, hold on. Again, is that country then fucking false to everyone, and everyone knew that that's what it fucking was, that you had to force people? Yeah, right. That's it then.
Yes, but that's what makes it an unjust law. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make it just. God, it's unjust.
Unjust laws. We've got so many unjust
yes.
laws, bro.
And that's what's the catalyst. But again,
what do we do,
dude? You're not really getting the overall picture.
No, you're not.
This is just a spark.
What I'm saying
you're taking a spark and you think that's the whole fire.
Of what? Of a non-Iranian woman.
No, she's Iranian. She's as Iranian as any Iranian can be.
Why is it? Wait, so hold on. All right. So when there's a state of Kurdistan, where's that? Where's that going to be?
Dude, she's just ഏറ്റhnically Kurdish. She's Iranian. Just like you are British, but you're ethnically Turkish.
Bro, listen, I have no issue just knowing that's where my root is. That's where I come from. That's where my mum and dad were making me. All right, this is who I am now. I've got no fucking issues with that. But some people do. And when it comes down to that, well...
All right, give me a second. Give me a second, Hassan. Let me see if I can chat to Sam. Sam, oh man, could you just jump on the stream? Jump on the stream, man. It's a shame you never talk on any of these streams. Like you are literally. I can see you. Your fingers are bleeding as you're typing in, trying to get all your text in. But jump on the stream and talk to us. I want Iranians. I know there are Iranians listening to this shit. None of you fucks come up and talk. How are you going to get anything done if you don't stick your heads above the parapet at least once?
Because there's no conviction too.
But that's the problem. That does make me worry that if there is so many of these Iranians who are racinated and yet nobody wants to stick their head up the parapet. You don't even want to jump on an anonymous fucking... Yeah, but Hassan, hold on.
We hold our standards to their standards, and that's not how it is. Just not, bro.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that
I think I'm happy seeing my sisters getting crushed there, but and I've done it. I've gone, how dare you? And you know what? Your sister ended up turning on you and go, bro, don't you ever fucking talk to my husband like that. And you're like, what? Yeah. You're like, man, he was just about to be. Man, if he beat me, guess what? He would beat me. What's the fuck to do with you? And I've seen it in this culture as well. We've got to stop holding our standard to them. If they want their country better, guess what, bro? They're smart enough to do it. They're smart enough to do it. They don't need some Kurdish woman to get down and get beaten and killed like they normally do every fucking time. It's always a Kurdish woman that gets fucking killed.
No, it's not always Kurdish, dude. No, it's not just Kurds. There's plenty of
Fucking
Iranian, of other ethnicities. Dude,
Kurdish woman.
Dude, no, this is look. I don't even know where you're getting this shit from. It wasn't like they knew she was Kurdish. She's just an Iranian girl in Tehran walking around, and I've seen hundreds of those. I've seen there was a girl who was protesting her hijab a few years ago, and nobody cared whether she was Kurdish or Turkish. Nobody even knew her ethnic origin.
I'm not for the hijab, but guess what? They are for Allah. They're for the hijab. They're for deen classes. They're for all of that shit.
Who, the Kurds?
You're telling me they're not for the hijab?
No,
they're not.
Dude,
they're not.
Dude, the ones in Iran, I don't know about the Kurds. I don't know the Kurds in Turkey. I don't know your experience with the Kurds. I don't know anything about the Kurds in Iraq either. But I will tell you, the Kurds in Iran are Iranian. We consider them exactly the same as any other Kurdish person, any other Iranian. If they're Shirazi or if they're Persian Iranian or if they're Arab Iranian, I've never seen anyone treat any Iranian differently. This girl, her Kurdish heritage has nothing to do with why Iranians are supporting her and why Iranians are protesting this.
Again, stuck as a space, they don't. All right, that's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They don't.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean,
you may, they don't. All right. Okay, so like when they say that it's that Iran is that like the Kurds, they show me where Kurdistan is on the map now, bro. You show me?
there is no Kurdistan on the map. Unless you consider north of Iraq.
All right, hold on. I'm assuming they're gonna want a place called Kurdistan, though, right? Please start with it.
Dude, that is a matter that can be settled or argued over.
That needs to be. That needs
Dude,
to be settled. So
that can be discussed after. The fact is, the mullahs are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if the Kurds want to have their own state or not. It doesn't matter now because the mullahs are ruling the country right now. The mullahs have to go before any of those arguments can be put on the table.
They're not for mullahs, are they? Though, because they're not for mullahs, though, are they?
This is like. It is a complete distraction. It is a total and utter distraction, and nothing to do with the current situation. I'm not even. Nobody's interested in that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
No one's aware of this.
Dude,
no one's aware of this.
Nobody cares.
Apart from those ones in Iraq that are nationalists, that are fighting tooth and nail to make sure. Yeah.
Same as the ones in Turkey.
Yeah.
The Kurds are fighting in Turkey for their own spot of land. But the Kurds are not fighting Iran for their spot of land. There is no fighting between the Kurds and the Iranian regime.
They're fighting for themselves, and that's what people have got to somewhat understand. So we could then go, all right, like, for example, it's my take on this transparency. If you have your party known, we know who you're shouting for. And she already said who she's shouting for. She didn't say, yeah, this is for my Iraqi sisters. No, she didn't. And she didn't. So stop taking this for your Iranian sisters. No, she's doing this for her sisters, right?
Dude.
For her nation.
No, nobody's doing this for Kurdistan. Literally nobody cares about whether she was Kurdish heritage or not. She was an Iranian girl in Tehran. Just could have been any woman, could have been any girl. My mum was taken by the fucking comité back in the 80s when she was studying English. She and my auntie and one of her friends were taken to a fucking police station till 3 a.m. Sorry?
To Turkey. My grandma was a Georgian taken by some Russian through Georgia into Turkey. And your point is what?
No, what I'm trying to tell you. No, let me tell you. The fact is that when it comes to this situation of this morality police bullshit, any woman in Iran can be picked up by them at any time. It doesn't matter whether they're fucking Kurdish, Turkish, Farsi, Persian. Nobody cares. This is not the point. I have no idea how you came to this point that
the Farsi one didn't get it, the Sunni one didn't get it.
Yes.
But it happened to, all right. So
yes.
Again.
They've all been beaten up. By the way, they don't just get beaten up. They get raped. There's so many women that have been raped by these fucking police, morality police. You don't even hear. This is the problem. You don't even know half the fucking atrocities that these fuckers have committed.
That's how they want it over there, innit?
No, it's not. That's how they want it over there. And Iranians don't want it over like that over there. You're insane if you think this is how people want to live.
Wait, hold on. It's like how you made that collation with, the English government. They've got power to do things here. And we were all outraged, but they shouldn't be able to do it. And we've got this thing where it's an actual democracy that prevents that happening. Well, they've not even got that. Let them first establish one of them first. Okay? Dude. Before wanting to go into powers.
I'm not here. I don't really care. I don't really care. Quantum leap. Hassan, I don't really care about the imperfections of the British system. Yes, everywhere in the we don't because we don't live in a utopia.
Just call that the
no, dude.
We'll say that's the imperfections of Iran's regime.
Yes, and those imperfections are extreme, and we can make it better. So it is okay for the Iranians right now to rally together and get rid of these fuckers and make it better. There is better options out there than the Iranian Islamic regime. and they should take advantage of it. And if this girl's death means that it's going to motivate them to do that, then so be it.
It's a lot worse.
Yeah, there's a lot worse too. But the fact is, nothing will ever change if you sit around and go, well, if I quit my job, I might just get a worse job, or I might just get a better job. So I'll just sit in this miserable job that I have right now and live my life in this fucking shithole. Because I might get a better job, or I might get a worse job. No, but this is bullshit. This is like such. This is the worst kind of attitude to have in life, dude. It is the worst fucking attitude to have. You will literally do nothing if you have this kind of attitude. You make no changes because there's always a chance shit gets worse.
There is no change there.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I'd throw a dice. I mean, if I was Iranian out there.
Exactly.
Pretty shit. Like, I'd throw the dice. What I wouldn't want is Allied forces get involved, because we all look back at history like Libya, Iraq, and all that.
Exactly.
And Afghanistan.
Nobody wants that. To be honest, nobody wants that.
A natural revolution by the Iranians is the only way.
Yes,
and they've not got the voice there. They're not even shouting out what Banksy's currently shouting about. All they want is a little bit more women's rights, which they don't. This is the problem. I don't know what the fuck you're looking at, what programs you're watching. I am listening to Iranians scream death to Khamenei, death to Rouhani. I'm listening to them talk about death to this regime. They are literally calling for the death of these leaders. They weren't screaming now fucking 4 weeks ago.
They are literally, there's hundreds of videos online. Women and men all screaming death to Rouhani, death to I think, is it Rouhani? I think it's Rouhani, isn't it? The current anyway, the current president. They are literally shouting death to Khamenei because
we had the fake Tommy Robinson, and what happened to that?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Dude,
I'm not even gonna entertain your fucking line of fucking argument there.
What did you just say, Tommy Robinson?
I know, I don't even know, dude. You said something about Tommy Robinson. What the fuck's Tommy Robinson got to do with any of this?
Alright, for example, Tommy Robinson
Hassan
representing patriot.
Hold on, let him explain it. I was talking in the middle of it.
Millions of thousands of miles away from where England is, and guess what? It comes out. Yeah, if it's an Iranian person that had grassroots in that place that had been protesting for years. Yeah, but this ain't. These are all flashbangs for their cause, their rebellion, and it's not yours. Stop.
Well, first of all, yes, it is up to the Iranian people.
It is.
All we can do, all we can do as foreign sort of Iranian, if you like, expats or that sort of scenario, is to give them some form of moral and possibly logistic support, just like Elon Musk with his what was this?
Don't die for us.
Starlink. Oh no. All I'm saying is, as foreigners, because yes, you're right. We can't on the ground actually do, actual revolution because we are outside. We can give them external support. We can try to press foreign countries to marginalize this fucking regime. I mean, what the fuck was that regime doing? Speaking at the United Nations, America gave them a visa to get into United Nations. So they should be denied of these things. So we can pressure. Dude, it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, we can put some pressure on the governments of Europe or America to further marginalize and further isolate that regime. But that's all.
All I'm hearing from your mouth is we should get some more Iranian children carpet bombed for some guys that's gonna.
Who's gonna carpet bomb them? Who are you talking about carpet bombing?
That's what I'm hearing.
What carpet bombing?
Well, you reckon the Iranian regime just thought, oh no,
No. The Iranian regime will, yes, kill a lot of Iranians, whether they'll do it by air or by guns. But the fact is that
why are you all like uppity? Oh, what do you mean?
No, because you were like carpet bombing. I'm like, what? Which? Okay, even Hassan.
Just breathe. Hassan, breathe.
Look. It doesn't matter. Even if they do, it is still worth it if this regime goes, because we all know a lot of people have to die before these guys ever leave. So if it comes to that, unfortunately, if the Iranians, as I say, once they pass a certain precipice, it will be the line of no return. So it doesn't matter. Just like the Syrians.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. When the people have got nothing to lose, and there will
exactly.
That's close, I would suggest, because a lot of them would have been either ID'd or on the verge of being ID'd for their actions last week.
I hope Iran stays strong. All right. I hope their nuclear program gets better. And guess what? I hope their defense is so that they don't need to worry about nothing apart from evolving their own nation strongly.
I thought he was against Islam and hijabs and stuff, but
he is. But he sees no actual cause to fight the Iranian regime in his eyes. Oh, nothing will change. It'll all be the same.
So he's promoting an Islamic state now.
Ironically, he is basically saying that the Iranians should carry on living under an Islamic state, even though he himself is staunchly against Islam.
In Yemen,
well, that's a bit fucking clown world. I'm sorry.
They're dying by the fucking.
That's a bit crazy.
Oh, nothing's changing there. In fact, now they've got Muslims doing Muslims, and we're all cheering for it. That's the thing that I want you lot to sort of somewhat remember, and the narrative that this plays into, and for what? A fucking headscarf that, wait for it, that liberated these women back then.
No, that's the regime telling them that this would no Iranian woman said that the hijab is going to liberate them.
I know Banksy's aunties. I'm sorry. I know Banksy's aunties didn't hear this, but I heard it from a load of women.
No woman was liberated by the hijab. This is complete bullshit propaganda from the regime.
Again, I'm saying that's what they use. I wish Banksy would get that into his head. This is what their mindset is, not my mindset.
I think we've got Afghan here. There's a chap called Amir Masood, but I think it's Afghan because I think that picture is his avatar. I don't know. Actually, that would, dude. Afghan, do you want to jump on the panel? Let me see if I've got. That's not the link. Shit. Let me see if I can. Actually, holy shit! It's 20 to 12. I gotta go to sleep. Okay, guys. To be continued.
I love you, though.
To fucking continued, because I'm either tomorrow night, either after the first hour that we do me and Manny with the Speakers Corner Online. If Manny wants to open the panel, I'm willing to do another hour or two after the 8 till 9. Right. So if you guys are about, yeah, let's do it then, because
I love you lot.
Because I can't. I have to, if I get racinated, if I get all worked up, I'm never gonna fucking sleep. All right, fuck it. Tomorrow, guys and girls. Afghan, if you're around, jump on the panel. Speakers Corner Online. You gotta go subscribe to Speakers Corner Online, not this channel. Oh shit! This whole time we haven't even been. Oh bollocks. Anyway, fuck it. Yeah, guys. Tomorrow night, Speakers Corner Online, 8 till 9. An hour with me and Manny, and then I don't know. I'll just ask him if he wants to open a panel. I'll stay online. He doesn't even have to stay, and we'll just end. Or I'll start a stream afterwards myself on this channel, and we'll do it then. Either way, we'll get this. We'll try and have a wider ranging debates. Now, one message out to my Iranian brethren, guys, please. Think about maybe jumping on one of these panels and having an actual live conversation with us. You know, I know Samadagha, I know Samem, you guys are smart guys. Why? I don't know what your personal reasons are why you never jump on any panels, but I would really appreciate it if you did. I think your voices matter, and I think your voices are important to add to this conversation. We can't just have, same old voices and non-Iranians effectively chiming in on this, at least in this sphere that I'm in. If you guys want to meet up on Saturday or Sunday during one of these protests, I'm happy to do that as well. I know, Sam, you come out. I mean, I don't know Sam at all. I've never seen him in the real world, so I don't even know if he's in London. But either way, if you guys can come out and put your voices, I don't even expect you to put your faces to it, just put your voices to this. That would really, really be appreciated. Other than that, we'll see. Yeah, I presume it will be probably Saturday, right, Sam? Let me know, bro. You got my details, contacts. Let me know what, whereabouts you want to be. I'm pretty sure. I'm certainly gonna be around Trafalgar Square, but then maybe we'll go up to Edgware Road, and the Islamic Center, wherever that Islamic Center is, or Kilburn. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. All right, guys and girls, I thank you all. I bid you all a good evening and adieu, and I'm going to play out actually another Iranian track, not the one I played in with. That one was one of them, but this one is also a very it's a very Iranian. Hold on. It's a very Iranian. It's the Persian national anthem, apparently. I'll be honest, I'm not sure. But it's a very, very sort of pro-Persian, Iran kind of music. Thank you, everyone. I love you all. And yeah, send out your thoughts and support, and retweet anything about the Iranian protests, and at least lend your support that way if you can. That would be brilliant. Just add your voice, or add your retweets or reposts to the voices. Hopefully enough voices will echo this thing all the way to Iran. I thank you all. I love you all. Have a good night, and I'll see you at Speakers Corner Online tomorrow night at 8 till 9. Cheers.
نام جاوید وطن صبح امید وطن جلوه کن در آسمان همچو مهر جاودان وطن ای هستی من شور و سرمستی من جلوه کن در آسمان همچو مهر جاودان بشنو سوز سخنم که هم آواز تو منم همه جان و تنم وطنم 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 بشنو سوز سخنم که نواگر این چمنم همه جان و تنم وطنم 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 همه با یک نام و نشان به تفاوت هر رنگ و زبان همه با یک نام و نشان به تفاوت هر رنگ و زبان همه شاد و خشونت بزنان ز سلامت ایران جوان به اصالت ایران کهن ز سلامت ایران جوان جاوید وطن صبح امید وطن جلوه کن در آسمان همچو مهر جاودان وطن ای هستی من، شور و سرمستی من، جلوه کن در آسمان همچون مهر جاودان. بشنو سوز سخنم که هم آواز تو منم، همه جان و تنم، وطنم 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 وطنم. بشنو سوز سخنم که نواگر این چمنم، همه جان و تنم، وطنم 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 وطنم. همه با یک نام و نشان به تفاوت هر رنگ و زبان، همه با یک نام و نشان به تفاوت هر رنگ و زبان. همه شاد و خوشونم بزنان ز سلامت ایران جوان، به اصالت ایران کهن ز سلامت ایران جوان. بشنو سوز سخنم که نواگر این چمنم، همه جان و تنم، وطنم وطنم وطنم